Is it in our interest to have a shadow economy or money laundering? Can it be of interest to us that drug trafficking exists? Can all mafias be economically interesting? In this video, I would like to talk about the relevance of illegal activities in the economy of a country. But first, we need to clarify what I mean by money laundering. When we talk about money laundering, we're referring to the ability of a criminal to carry out illegal economic activities to put that money into the system. The shadow economy is considered a burden for our economy since it prevents the state from collecting as much fund as it could. The administration does what it can to tackle tax fraud once it occurs. I want to talk about the possibility that the system might be interested in the existence of a shadow economy, based on the fact that this shadow economy often generates fast money and money in large quantities. It must be taken into account that the mafias and the shadow economy are very strong. It has a lot of influence to the point that the shadow economy is included in the GDP of all countries. For example, in the case of Russia, the Russian mafia represented an important part of the GDP. In other words, the Russian mafia is contributing to the GDP of Russia with all the criminal activities it carries out. Despite being illegal activities, they are also economic activities. Economic activities that must be taken into account because after all, they move money into the country. As we have said before, this type of business such as trafficking generates money very quickly and in large amounts. Any illegal activities is not capable of doing this in such magnitude. Many times the state or the economy may be interested in laundering this money by establishing an amnesty or making it easier for this to happen, since this brings into the economy a lot of liquidity. In terms of liquidity, according to the ISLF model, which purpose is to find a macroeconomic balance between the market of goods and service and the money market. Laundering money, such as drug trafficking money, causes brutal liquidity to enter the economy and shift the LM line liquidity, preference money supply, thus lowering interest rate, increasing investment, and bringing more very positive things to the economy. In this way, we have an expansion monetary policy without the participation of the European Central Bank, but we have put liquidity in the system, laundering money from the mafias and from many other illegal activities that may be of interest. Why are tax amnesties promoted? In some countries, tax amnesties are offered. This is a measure by which the fulfillment of tax obligation is forgiven to those who did not fulfill them at the time. The state do this because they are interested in identifying other people who are related to this type of activities. However, the person who is given amnesty does not have any type of reprisal for having done these things. We must be clear that this is not unethical at all. Dirty money is being let into the system, money based on crime, drugs, violence, and coercion. Maybe it can bring us positive things at an economic level, but it is not ethical. It is, in a way, legitimizing all this debt associated with drug trafficking or anything that has happened to obtain that money. Clearly, things that are not ethical at all, and we are allowing it. With this, we can see that the world is often not as beautiful as it presented to us, nor as moral or as ethical as it really seems. Many times it can be our interest that these things exist, that the shadow economy exists, that these mafias exist to facilitate or not to pursue this money laundering so much because it helps us at an economic level. Do you think that many times government do not pursue hard enough all this shadow economy and all this money laundering because many times it is not in their interest that this money disappears? Do you think this could really happen? This is a bit of broken theory. To me personally, it seems a very interesting theory, very conspiratorial, but it is a theory to consider. What do you think about it? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Thank you very much for staying until the end.